Delusional self-belief isn't about believing in things that aren't possible. It's believing in yourself before the rest of the world does. There is no version of my life where I don't see an extraordinary and successful life ahead of me. Not a single one. That's the level of self-belief and delusion I carry. I believe in my vision. I believe in my resilience. And I will always work my heart out for it. And the whole universe bends to that level of audacity and delusional self-belief. And I want you to have that level of audacity and delusional self-belief. And by the end of this video, you will. Kanye West once said, if I were to quit rapping and go to the NBA, I would be in the NBA. And the interviewer said to him, no, you wouldn't. Why do you think you could make it to the NBA? And Kanye said, because I believe I can do anything. Lady Gaga famously said, I was so incredibly delusional about how famous I was and was going to be. She said, I always believed so deeply in my gift to make music and that I was a star. And she became one of the biggest stars in the world. And so what these three icons of delusion all have in common is that they were crazy enough to think that anything was possible. And because they lived in complete delusion and believed in the delusion became reality. And so today we're going to talk about the three identity shifts that allow you to fully embody and harness the power of delusional self-belief, which are to believe it before it's real, to become it before you have it, and to stay delusional when everything and everyone says be realistic. Hey my angels, I'm Christian and welcome back to my YouTube channel where we talk all things mindset, manifestation, spiritual healing, and beauty. By the end of this video, you're gonna understand exactly how to harness the power of delusional self-belief. You're gonna stop seeing your biggest and wildest dreams as unrealistic and start seeing them as instructions from your highest, most powerful self who already has them. Because everything I do is about helping you reclaim your power and manifest your dream life. You know, delusional self-belief is all about identity transformation. And that's really the foundation of how I built my own career and wealth and beauty and power. And I go even deeper into this in my 8 laws to manifest power, where I give you the exact 8 laws, methods, and identity shifts I use to reclaim my power and create a life I'm obsessed with. Now, if I'm going to teach you exactly how to unlock your power with delusional self-belief, you must first trust me. You know, when I first started this journey of stepping into my power and creating content, the closest people to me did not get it. My family, my friends, society, they all called me delusional. They laughed and called me cringe and told me to be more grounded and get a stable job. They told me that building a successful business from content creation is risky and unrealistic. And for a moment, I almost believed them. Because when everyone around you tells you enough times that your vision is too big, that you're being delusional, you start to believe it. But the CEO of ChatGPT literally said that the most successful people he knows believe in themselves to the point of delusion. And I know you've been through this too, because so many of us as children know exactly what we want to do in life. But somewhere along the way, we get told by our family, our friends, our society that being an actor or a singer or an artist or an astronaut is unrealistic. And we trade our delusional dreams for other people's expectations of us. But you are not your parents' limitations. You are not your friends' limited dreams. And you are not your society's limiting beliefs. And I'm here to help you overcome those limitations and reclaim your power with absolute delusional self-belief. So on that note, let's talk about the first identity shift of delusional self-belief, which is to believe it before it's real. You know, we live in a physical 3D world, right? We rely on our senses from sight to smell to touch to tell us what's real and what's not. You know, people always say, I'll believe it when I see it, that you need physical evidence to believe something is true. But whatever you assume and believe to be true is what manifests as true. That's the law of assumption. So imagine if you were to assume and believe that your success is inevitable, that your unlimited wealth and dream life and career and partner and body were already yours. Because success is built by the people delusional enough to believe in something long before it exists. And the most successful people understand that you must believe in the dream first, before the evidence, before the proof, and before it's real. You know, Dyson famously went through over 5,000 prototypes before creating the world's first bagless vacuum cleaner. He was so delusional with his vision of the iconic Dyson long before it was real, even when it sucked, and even after 5,000 failures. Another perfect example of believing it before it's real is one of my favorite stories from the Bible. And it's when two blind men come to Jesus and ask him to restore their sight. And Jesus says to them, "Do you believe that I am able to do this for you?" And they instantly reply, "Yes, Lord, we believe." And so Jesus touched their eyes and said to them, "According to your faith, let it be done to you." And their sight was immediately restored. Notice how Jesus highlighted that their faith and their belief in him is what restored their sight. And so this parable from the Bible teaches us the power of having blind faith, literally blind faith in the case of these two men, and how absolute blind faith in your dreams coming true and in your ability to manifest them, even when there's absolutely no evidence, is the gateway to all miracles. You know, the people who create extraordinary lives for themselves don't wait for evidence. They're so delusional in their belief of it long before it's real. And that's why every successful person is called delusional long before they're successful. So on that note, let's talk about the second identity shift of delusional self-belief, which is to become it before you have it. Now that you understand that being delusional starts with believing it before it's real, the next step is to become the version of you who already has it, before you have it. This is where being delusional requires you to be an incredible and excellent method actor. This is where being delusional is not just about your mindset, but also about your behavior. You know, you don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. Believing in your desires and dreams is amazing, but it won't take you far unless you act like the version of you who already has them, which is what I call acting as if. Acting as if isn't about faking it. It's about taking action on the belief that it's real and already yours. Lady Gaga, who I'm obsessed with, is literally the most perfect example of becoming it before you have it. She always talks about how she didn't have any money. She wasn't famous. There were no paparazzi chasing her. But when she walked down the street, people wondered who she was because she carried herself as if she was the Lady Gaga we know and love today. In the underground bars she would perform at before she was famous, she would show up fully done head to toe just for the sound checks. And no one shows up dressed up for sound checks. But Lady Gaga was that delusional and took herself that seriously that she showed up fully dressed for a sound check. Lady Gaga took herself that seriously in this tiny little club in New York City where no one knew who she was and no one cared about who she was, as she would for the Super Bowl and as she eventually did for the Super Bowl. Get it? So what we learn from Lady Gaga about the power of delusional self-belief is to truly understand and act like the superstar you are long before the rest of the world gets it. Long before I was a successful content creator and YouTuber with hundreds of thousands of followers and millions of views across platforms, I showed up every single day, week in and week out, as the version of me who was. I became it before I had it, and reality eventually caught up. So I want you to be so committed to your delusions that you become the version of you who already has them, because that's how you turn delusion into reality. I also have a whole video, which I'll link here, where I break down exactly how to act as if, with 4 incredible identity shifts that will help you become it before you have it. So on that note, let's talk about the third and final shift of identity transformation, which is to stay delusional when everything and everyone says be realistic. Because most people can believe it before it's real. Some people can become it before they have it, but very few people can stay delusional when everything and everyone says to be realistic. You know, it's easy to believe in yourself when everything's working out for you. It's easy to stay confident when the results are showing up. But the real test of delusional self-belief is when reality gives you every reason to stop believing and stop staying delusional. We've all been through moments where nothing seems like it's working, where the people around you tell you to lower your expectations and be realistic. And this is where most of you abandon your dreams. It's never because you're not capable of achieving them. It's because you start trusting your physical reality instead of trusting your vision and staying delusional. Whether you're an entrepreneur or a creative, the world will always try to make you downgrade your vision to match your reality. But you must always upgrade your faith and upgrade your delusion to match your vision. You know, staying delusional when everyone says be realistic is like building a beautiful castle. Imagine you've spent years dreaming about this beautiful castle. You can see every tower, every room, every detail. You know exactly what it's gonna look like. Now imagine you start building this castle and you've only laid a few bricks. The castle isn't visible yet. You know, the towers aren't there yet, the walls aren't there yet, the vision is only visible in your mind. Most people will come by to see this great big castle you've been talking about and only see a few bricks. And because they only see a few bricks, they will immediately downgrade your vision. They'll call you delusional for believing you could even build it. They'll then call you delusional for becoming the version of you who tries to build it. But the person who builds the castle stays delusional and knows that the castle is coming into existence brick by brick by brick. And it's by staying delusional that you build your dreams, one delusional brick at a time. And that's the power of delusional self-belief. You know, being delusional over your life is simply about being the director of your reality. Directors don't wait for the set to be built before they see the film. They cast the vision, they write the script, and call it into existence before a single camera rolls. That's what it means to be the creator and director of your reality. Sorry, my camera just died again, but you're not disconnected from reality because people call you delusional. They only call you that because they don't dare to dream big enough to direct their own. So I want you to stay delusional at all costs, because every director sees the finished film long before the rest of the world does. So I want you to keep dreaming and be even more delusional about what you can achieve, because delusion is only delusion until it becomes a reality. So to recap, the 3 identity shifts of delusional self-belief are to believe it before it's real, to become it before you have it, and to stay delusional when everything and everyone says be realistic. I love you so much, my angels, and I'm so grateful for all your love and all your support. All your messages and all your comments never go unnoticed. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next week for another video.